A working console to me is something close to retail and consumer ready. And I want to splice that here because there's no... when we see those videos, we don't see the game boot up. We don't see the game being loaded. We don't see the console powered up. We don't see the LED lights around the console. We don't see the controllers being synced to the console. We don't see anything.
I'm actually impressed with the amount of mental gymnastics that Pat and Ian are doing right now just to continue to hate on the Intellivision Amico. If it's your first time on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification. We are going to get right into talking about Pat and Ian's CUPodcast clip, basically ripping the Amico once again. I'd imagine their pre-show meetings would go something along the lines of this. Hey Ian, I feel like our views are down.
Yeah, I don't know what we should do about it.
Maybe we should bash the Atari VCS?
No, everyone already knows that's a scam.
Well then, how about the Intellivision Amico?
Yeah, that always gets the views.
But we don't actually have anything new to talk about. I ignored all of Tommy's pleas to go see this in person because I knew I would be proven wrong.
Yeah, but in hindsight, because you didn't take the time out of your day to go see it and disprove all your hate, you can keep making videos trashing this system and nobody can say anything different about you.
Yeah, good point. I am pretty smart. But seriously, their take on this Amico continues to blow my mind. I personally went up and saw the Intellivision Amico in the flesh. I held it in my hand, connected it to the TV, played with Tommy Tallarico, which, by the way, fanboy moment, that's like a dream come true, to be able to play a console with the console creator who has years of work and history and knowledge of the video game industry behind him, and just spent the day playing the system, talking about the games, talking about Tommy's passion behind this and why it's so important to him. And I, as I've said many times in my videos, have seen the reality behind the scenes of what goes into this and why Tommy's doing it in the first place. Is it easy to break into the video game landscape? No, it's like nearly impossible if you don't have the money backing like Microsoft does to do something to compete with the big guys. So what is Tommy doing? He's doing something that's not a direct competitor to the big guys. Something that's slicing out his own portion of the market that people can enjoy if they want to. He's not putting a gun to people's heads and saying, you gotta buy my system or else. He's just making it, and if people want it, they'll buy it. I don't understand why Pat and Ian can't wait to just trash this thing every chance they get. They spent the better part of that 10-minute snippet talking about why this thing probably doesn't even exist in the first place. Again, I saw it in person. I played it with my own two hands, held the controller, and played Shark. Played a bunch of other games that I don't even know if I'm allowed to mention or not yet, so I'm not going to, but had a blast with them. It completely revolutionized my mindset. It changed all my thought processes. It opened my eyes to what this console truly presents to the end user. And it's not just me. You don't have to take my word for it. I literally have no reason to lie about this or suck up to Tommy. If I thought it sucked, or if I thought it was fake, or if there were things that were super shady about it, I wouldn't be able to wait to tell you guys about that. But none of that happened. It was legitimate. It was real. It was fun. But you don't even have to take my word for it. I'm not the only person that's actually played this thing. Metal Jesus Rocks has played it. John Blue Riggs has played it. People in the know have had a chance to meet with Tommy and play this thing, hands on. I played it last September, if I recall, almost a full year from today, and it was awesome. I could only imagine how much progressed in that time since I played it. Now, in Pat and Ian's podcast, they say, does it even have a boot up logo? Does this thing even have plugs in it? Does it even actually work? Is it even real? Guys, if you took Tommy up on his offer, which as far as I know is still on the table, you can go up this time now that Corona's going around, wear a mask, and go see this thing for yourself. But you won't, because you don't want to be proven wrong. You don't want someone to shut you up. You say in your podcast, if Tommy just made this video and showed it to everyone, it would shut us up. No, it wouldn't. You guys would just think of another angle to bitch about. Because Tommy offered for you to come up and see this in person, which is way better than a video. It's real life. You can't fake real life. And yet you're asking for a video that can't be shared because he's not ready to publicly share this stuff. I'm not being a defender of Tommy. I'm just saying it like it is. If Tommy and the marketing team at Amico was ready to put together a video and show everybody about what this thing actually is and presents to the end user, they do that. Right now, they're not ready for that. And all because of that, you're making all these presumptions that it's going to be delayed into next year or infinity, put on the shelf and not ready for anyone, that Tommy is lying to you about these job openings? Why would he be lying to you about the job openings? Especially if he's being full disclosure. Come up and see this thing for yourselves if you don't believe me. Why are you making up, inventing things wrong with the Amico just to get mad at it when you have the opportunity to go see this in person and dispel all those fears, to shut you up, as you guys put it?
We don't see anything. So again, I don't know if we can give him the benefit of the doubt to that anyway. And if Tommy wanted to shut us up in the past week, all he had to do, Ian, was, hey, Pat, here's a console. I'm hooking up HDMI to the TV. Here's the power button. It's on. There's a splash screen. I'm going to click the menu, and I'm going to load up the game and play it. That's all you'd have to have done.
Does that mean that the Amico's going to be making its debut date on 10/10/2020? I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I can't guarantee anything. I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel. All I can go by is what I saw in reality, which is a functional system with the boot up logo, with everything that seems to be working from what I could tell as far as the entry screen and all the game logos and everything. Everything was there a year ago. They've been working on it with many full-time employees, bringing on Xbox industry vet Jay Allard to help them with the launch of a new console. Literally everything that's happened is above board, really honest. Full disclosure, Tommy has been there for anybody to interview him and ask tough questions. And from what I've seen, he hasn't been conflicting, he hasn't been hypocritical, he hasn't lied about anything as much as people try to find things that he says one time and then changes his mind another time. He's trying his best to answer the questions that are brought to him at the time that he has the information. And you've had the opportunity to interview him every single day, and you continue to ignore those pleas for the interview. You'd rather bitch and moan about the system and influence. You are an influencer, as much as I hate that term. You influence an audience of hundreds of thousands of people with your wrong approach just for clicks, just for attention, just for the small glimmer of hope that for some weird reason you would be right. Even though everything is on the table for you to see. As someone who is an influencer, Tommy's giving you the opportunity to find out more about this than the average layperson, and you're saying, no, Tommy, if you can tell me, you can tell everybody. Tommy will tell everybody. That's like going to Nintendo and being like, hey, if you can tell me about your Treehouse games, you can tell everyone about those. You know, maybe these companies like to have a few secrets. Maybe they're not quite sure if what they're working on is going to come to fruition. And if they announce one thing and then it doesn't come to fruition, people will hold them accountable for that and get pissed off about it. So they're taking the smart route of trying their best not to announce everything, and the little things that they do announce are already getting cherry-picked and to the extreme, being ripped apart, saying, you said this about it, but it's actually going to be this now. You said this was the price, but now the price is going to be this. You said it's going to look like this, but now it's going to be look like, you said the lights were this. You can see what I'm getting at. Take a step back from all of this. Give Tommy the time of day. Meet with him in person to dispel your fears and answer any questions you may have. Holy crap. You guys will never do that though, because you make a new bashing Amico video what seems like on a weekly basis. And honestly, being a YouTuber, I can't really say I blame you, because it gets more attention than most of your videos. But I'd like your audience to know the real reason why you're doing this is not because you think the Amico's actually going to fail. You already know deep down it's not going to fail. You already know it's going to come out. You already know there's an audience for this. So what are you doing? You're willing all your hatred to your audience and trying to influence them to make your hatred for the system come true, to make everything you've said be reality, instead of what actually reality is, which is a functional system that I personally have played, among other YouTubers who have actually played it in person too. So you don't have to just take my word for it. You are making these videos claiming that you don't know if it's even a real system. You are claiming that you don't think this thing's going to be coming out on time, which, by the way, I don't know, like I said, if it's going to come out on time, but coronavirus is around. It's delaying everything. That's why I'm not making videos railing on the Atari VCS anymore, because I'm like, you know what? It's kind of a get out of jail free card for them, as much as I hate to say it, because yeah, it's a worldwide pandemic. It's affecting shipments of materials. It's affecting shipments of electronics. It's affecting people going into work and working on these consoles. So hell yeah, I kind of do expect this thing to get delayed. But it's not because Tommy's being manipulative and being a snake oil salesman and lying to people. It's because reality's taking effect and people have to work on this for it to actually come out. And with a worldwide pandemic, it's probably going to slow that process down. I mean, I don't really think that's that hard to understand, but for some reason, you ignore that fact and try to claim that Tommy is being some fake marketing guy that doesn't have his hand on the pulse of this operation. And that just pisses me off.
Smash it.